morning, folks. This morning's soap is from Music City Suds. This one here is Lavender and Ever Amen. This, as soon as you pop the top on this one here, it is definitely lavender. There is no doubt what you got inside here. This one here, once again, starts out with 6 ounces of soap. It's got a little bit less than that since I got started with this lather. Is whipped up here with a reknotted Ever Ready brush that's got a really nice badger knot. This came by the way of a strike gold shave. Got it whipped up here in the bowl. You kind of see it's on the wet side. This bowl here, this is the walnut cherry one, but this you can kind of tell it's wet, but not exactly drippy. Smells wonderful. Really nice. Great for a nose like mine that's complex scents. I can't hardly pick out a lot of the scents. Got the Allen block complete with no rubber band this morning. One day I'll get back to the rubber band, huh? Got the witch hazel here from Humphrey's that is unscented, but it is mentholated and does have some peppermint in it. And got the matching aftershave here. Shaver of the day is, oh, should mention the Preshave, huh? Here's Yulay's Preshave oil that I've been using. For me, I usually take about 3 squirts and work it into my face real good at the beginning of the shave, so it has time to, I guess you might say, soak in, if you will. And the shaver of the day here is the Gold Dollar. I think this is W59. Got mine by the way of Strike Gold Shave, and going to see how well I do with this today. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and wet the face and get started here. Boy, this is, it's a little bit different than a shavette. I kind of mentioned, I think, this in a previous video, and probably a number of other videos. You can kind of see how big that is, and then you look at what might be more of a one that takes a DE blade in the way of a shavette. You can kind of see the difference, because here's the length of the blade here, and yeah, there's a huge difference. It's a wee bit of a learning curve there, adjustment and thinking. Technique is going to be really important this morning. It's just loaded. I got it really loaded with soap this morning. I did strop the straight razor. I'm hoping I did not roll the edge. I still have my, I took the blade out of those, so I don't actually have a, guess you might say, a shaver that's already got a blade in it loaded, ready to go in case I need to use something different for the rest of the shave. But I do have plenty handy here if that's the case. Really nice scent. If you like lavender, boy, this is definitely be right up your alley. Alright, I think that might be good enough there. I do have a damp towel over here to the side. What I plan on doing is wiping the shaving cream off on the damp towel. And sometimes it kind of helps keep my sink a little bit cleaner for the rinse job, I guess you might say. When it comes to stretching, it's up to each individual on how much stretching you need to do. Whether you need to, use your hand to stretch the skin or contort your neck, face, puff out your cheeks, so on and so forth. We'll see how this works. I am one of those guess you might say one of those shavers. I only shave with the one hand. Don't use 2 hands. Just for me, it's more mental with the left hand than physical, and I'll just stick with the right hand. It's the dominant hand. For me, the This shaver here does have a different shave feel, in my opinion, than maybe some of the other gold dollars. It may be just something to get used to. I don't think it's any, how you say, it's worse or bad than anything else I've ever used. Just different. Some might consider the other gold dollars maybe a little bit smoother on the edge, maybe easier to get a smooth edge on it. I don't think I am quite ready to start honing my own just yet, but I have I do give it some thought. For me, it's I know it's going to be an uphill situation trying to learn how to try to hone that and figure out what direction I want to start out in. I do read from time to time in some forums about what each individual is using and what direction they're going, and it's kind of like your mileage may vary. Wasn't too sure if I was going to try that pass or not. Been giving a lot of thought, in other words, how I was going to do this shave. I do try to, I guess you might say, try to incorporate a little bit more on the across the grain from time to time. This one here, the side of the face seems to be easier. I can do this side, but I prefer to do that with a shavette. I'll wait another day to do it with the straight razor. Seems to be pretty smooth so far. Didn't round the edge, I don't think. I think it's hanging in there. It's doing well. Kind of surprised. I know in the past that's how I run the edges. I roll it, try to strop. Try to take my time. It's not how fast you do it, I don't think. So I was taking my time, you know, when I was stropping and paying very close attention on how I kept it, try to be very flat, not try to put too much pressure on that edge when I'm stropping it. There's a part of me that still feels I'm getting closer to, I guess you might say, going off the deep end and getting all the necessary equipment to start honing. I think that's probably part of the biggest drawback is I don't know, still don't have a good understanding what direction to go. And it might just be one of those things that I just need to, you know, kind of like with anything else you do with shaving, you just jump in there and see what works for you and what doesn't and adjust accordingly. But it is, for me, it's a lot of fun. It's a challenge. So in other words, there's not only the learning curve of shaving with a straight razor, but figuring out what blades you like the best, with what stones, what finishing stone you like. It's one of those things I think I can wrap my arms around one day. I'll get there. I just don't see it happening anytime soon. Say not this year. Maybe by the end of next year, because for me it's the amount of time I'll have to spend doing the research, where I feel comfortable getting started. For me, this pass, the against the grain pass, is pretty easy for me to do. Not sure reason why, but it's always seemed like that's one of the easiest passes to do. With the grain, relatively easy until I get down to these creases on my neck, but for some reason going against the grain seems to be pretty easy for me to deal with. A lot of feedback with this blade, kind of typical. And I don't know, maybe somebody that does know, when you look at the end, I don't know for sure, in other words, what makes this a 3/4 hollow, a full hollow. I haven't been able to wrap my arms around, sometimes around that, knowing which one is which. I don't think it's a full hollow. I could be wrong. It's hard for me to tell. The tips on this, the toe and the heel, I think has been muted just a bit. It's still sharp. Yeah, it still cuts you, but it's not near as sharp as what it could be. I think that might be up to the individual whether they prefer to have them muted or not. I don't think for me it matters one way or the other. I typically don't have a problem with the toe and the heel, the ends of it. It's other places where I have issues. I think the size of the blade sometimes is a little intimidating for me, in that with the Shavette, you're using a DE blade. You only have that much that you can whack yourself with. With this, you got all of that. Makes it, like you might say, a bit more intimidating. Yeah, you do go a little bit quiet when it comes to these passes when you're not quite proficient at it just yet. I was watching John Romanoff's video, and he was kind of talking about that. You know, talking and shaving at the same time is it takes a lot of practice. You got to get used to it. So I know a lot of times when you watch a video, how it looks easy, and that's because a person has gotten used to it over a period of time. There is a learning curve. You know, they make it look easy. It looks easy on the video until you try it yourself. Right through there, it got that strip right through there. Sometimes it's not the easiest to get with a Shavette or a straight razor, unless I learn how to do it. It's really, excuse me, it's thin, gets wider through here, excuse me, and back here starts to widen up a little bit. It's an odd strip down through there that's grows in different directions. Not the easiest to get with a Shavette or a DE. As close as I could get with a DE, or maybe even a gem style razor, a Micromatic or something along those lines. No nicks, no cuts. It doesn't feel too bad. Definitely good enough for going to work, that's for sure. Go ahead and get this alum block to see what kind of... Don't think I'm going to have much stinging this morning. I did notice in yesterday's video, I normally don't watch my videos, but for whatever reason yesterday I felt kind of compelled to watch it. I was watching it on a different format to see what the quality of the video is. I know the audio, well, excuse me, the audio for this is just, it's an old camera. It's a really old camera. Compare, you know, when you start looking at technology and thinking about that sort of thing, it's old, and it does need to get replaced at some point in time. I just can't never make up my mind what direction I want to go. But watching it, you know, with a different video format and see what the quality was in the video, and I notice it from time to time. This area down here, and it's not that it's irritated. It's just that it's I'm not sure why it does that, because like I mentioned before, even when I don't shave, it could be late in the evening, eating dinner for instance, and for some reason or another through here I'll have places where the skin is red and then it's not, and couldn't tell you why. It's not irritated or anything, at least it doesn't ever feel irritated to me. It feels just fine. I just don't know why it does that. It's been like that forever, as long as I can remember. This is not heavy on the menthol. Didn't have this. Didn't put a whole lot of menthol crystals in this one, but I did add some peppermint to it. And the peppermint is probably, I don't know if the menthol is boosting the peppermint or how that's working out, but peppermint is the one that I guess you might say is predominant in this, that I got whipped up here in the witch hazel. You can feel that cooling effect. Not that I really need it. This was a pretty decent shave. Like I said, I got that one strip that I would probably normally would catch with whatever my favorite shaver, because it just takes a quick 2 or 3 swipes and I'm done with it, just right through, just on this side over here. Did pretty good. I'm kind of proud of myself. Guess you might say, in other words, I was a wee bit nervous on this one here. But I'll practice with the longer blades. I need to get back in the swing of it. We use some hair shaper, some wax. I've got a few that I can use. A Dovo. Matter of fact, that's the only thing I've ever used in the Dovo is the longer blade. Persona, if you will, the hair shaper blade. That's the only thing I've ever used. Oh, this Lavender's, oh yeah, it is definitely present. I think this is one of Manny's favorite scents, this lavender. This one here might not check this out, Manny. Especially at $8.98 a set. This lavender's, it's got a, if I can smell it, I'm thinking that's pretty good, because my nose is not the best in the world. Alright, enough rambling on. Just really happy with the shave. It went great. And just to be honest with you, this is an intimidating looking razor. I mean, it's got the point there that looks like it's really sharp. You got the heel back here. It's a nice razor. It really is. Scales are, I can't remember what they're made out of. I know it's wood and it's black and it's got the metal spacer right there. It has a nice feel to it. I like the way that this is shaped through here. It works well for me. It makes it easier for, you can go either way. If you want to go this way, it just really depends on what you're comfortable with. I don't think that's, wouldn't say that's one of those things that's set in stone. It's what you feel comfortable with, and you might feel more comfortable with that versus this. Great shave today. Awesome. Hope everybody's doing well. I know I'm doing all right. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.